Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I'm doing my in-depth topic today, and I am trying to figure out, I own a couple brushes that I've had for a very long time and have never really used, so I'm going to just be doing some strokes on paper to get to know these brushes, and we're going to just talk about it a little bit. So I want to talk about the reward system. This brush is very strange. And this can come in many forms. When you go to look up articles about the reward system, you're going to get it as it pertains to parenting. Now, this is by no means trying to call anyone out or make anyone feel bad. This is just something I feel is worth an in-depth topic because I recognize this within myself. And this could be one of those nature versus nurture type of deals. And it's something that I think that if we sit and we are reflective and sort of trying to figure out what motivates, you know, what helps us feel accomplished, what our triggers and temptations are, this might be one that plays in. So whether you are someone that knows about yourself that you prefer to be incentivized, you like associative learning, you like positive reinforcement, sort of, you know, positively balanced emotions, like without getting into the neuroanatomy of what your brain does when it's positively reinforced. And I will link some articles if you are super curious. Oh, this one's strange too. Playing with new brushes. There is a reason I've never used these. These are bizarre. It's something that, you know, maybe in your life, if you did A, you received B, and it's something that needs to be acknowledged. Oh, this is such a weird brush shape. Because I think at some point, whether we are cognizant of it or not, we may have all done this to ourselves in terms of art supplies. We may have said to ourselves, hey, start using this product and use it up or use more of it and we'll get more. Or finish this sketchbook, we'll get more sketchbooks. See how that sentence increased exponentially without me recognizing it? It's really hard to sometimes articulate some of the things that I think and say to myself without getting like super introspective and sitting there in my thoughts. But this is just one of those things where I feel like maybe it was nurtured with some of us, where we did something, you know, did a good job on something, receive a sticker. Or, you know, it could be something as small as that, but that's something that does go into our brain, and that's something that stays with us, and maybe that's something we acknowledge or don't acknowledge, or maybe it's finish this class, or finish this really hard thing not art related and get some art supplies. And that's something we need to look at too, because if that's what we're doing in our minds, and we may or may not even know we're doing it or acknowledging it. What an interesting shaped brush. Then that becomes a problem, because that can be very much a trigger for ourselves that we are not paying attention to. And that becomes a problem when doing a no-buy. So all these in-depth topics are just ways to sort of call into view things that we have in our minds that we may not have ever acknowledged. So we may not acknowledge that we are someone that rewards ourselves. And I definitely think that I am a little nature, I am a little nurture, and I definitely tell myself in the past, use this up, I would like to buy more, but in better colors, or colors I prefer, or one-offs instead of a set. Fill this sketchbook, we will buy more sketchbooks. You know, prove to me that you are doing more watercolor, we will get more watercolor supplies. As I say and do that, everything increases though. It's not one for one. One goes out, one comes in. That wasn't how I was purchasing office or art supplies and stuff. So when you look at some of the pitfalls of doing the reward system, and again, these are from like parenting articles. I am not a parenting channel. you do you. And some of the things that they talk about are citation, which means, you know, sometimes it requires more and more of something to get the same effect. So if buying one piece of art supplies that was super fun after you finish something really hard around the house or at school, I don't know where you're at in your life. The problem is I'm talking to a camera. I'm not talking to you face to face, and that's an issue too. But so I don't know, you know, how you reward yourself or where it pertains, but if something you're doing in your life that you are finished and feel accomplished with, and then you then go to reward yourself, it may take more and more of the reward to get that same feeling. And it could become sort of an addiction. Like, it's not the same unless you buy the thing afterwards. You did the hard thing, now you have to buy the thing. It also takes away from what you're learning. So are you learning the same stuff, or are you just learning to finish so you can have the reward? And that is another common sort of pitfall with the reward-based system, is that you may not be getting everything out of the initial thing you're doing. If you are creating and filling a sketchbook and that is what you're doing, and you're constantly thinking about how you're going to reward yourself afterwards, are you enjoying the process and getting everything out of filling that sketchbook? Are you working towards long-term, short-term goals? Is this increasing pressure? Like, I just need to finish this and then I can move on to this, and that. And then I can have this, and that. You're sort of bribing yourself. And I'm not saying rewards are wrong. I'm not saying that they don't always have a purpose, or, you know, and maybe for some of us in certain things, rewards are the way to go. But I think it's something that we should acknowledge in our thought process as we go forward while we are doing a no-buy. Is that something that was prevalent in our lives that we did for ourselves? Did we reward ourselves? Did we tell ourselves, this is what you get when you do this? If you do this action, you get this. Is that something that we recognize and now see, oh shoot, I might be guilty of that as well? Because what may be more helpful long term is just encouragement. When you think of your best friend and what you would say to your best friend to encourage your best friend to keep creating, keep making, keep exploring, keep working towards goals, think of yourself. You should also be your own best friend. You should encourage yourself when you're exploring and trying new things, when you're getting out of your comfort zone, when you reach a goal, however small or innocuous it may seem to others. Don't compare yourself to others. Comparison's the thief of joy. So we need to learn to encourage where we're at and figure out sort of how to, if the reward-based system is something that we have definitely fallen into, if that's something we need to break out of and acknowledge it for what it is. I hope this makes sense. I hope I've articulated this in a way that you feel like the message got across to you in a way that was helpful and informative, because it's really hard to sit in one's feelings alone and just be like, okay, why do I actually buy things that aren't the most helpful or useful? Why am I buying things that are sitting on a shelf? Why am I buying things that I'm not gravitating towards, that don't inspire me, that I can't use half my art supplies for? So this may be one of those things that might be a reason why you, someone you know, may have purchased art supplies or feel tempted to purchase art supplies. And I hope this helps. I will link articles. Again, a lot of them are as it pertains to parenting. There's nothing wrong with reading parenting articles if you aren't a parent. There are things you can still extrapolate and get from those articles and those messages across. It is very, very fascinating, the inner workings of the brain and the things that we acknowledge and don't acknowledge to ourselves when we're going about our daily lives, and some of our things that we consider more burdensome and tiresome and less enjoyable. How we try and flip that for our brain to make it more palatable. I hope this helps. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.